Now, CNN had interviews with some of the maniacs who were involved in the violence on Wednesday. And there's some interesting stuff in here, including more evidence that some of the Capitol Police seem to be, at the very least, sympathetic towards what was going on.
Supposed to do, okay? The Supreme Court's not helping us. No one's helping us. Only us can help us. Okay. Only we can do it.
Let's have trial by combat.
He just said trial by combat. I'm ready. I'm ready. Broke down the barriers and we rushed them. We charged them. We got all the way to the steps and made a line. So we stood there and we tried to push them back a little bit until finally they started getting rough with us. So we tried to push them back. So that's what we did. We pushed them back. We tried to get up the steps. They wouldn't let us up. So then they started pepper spraying and macing everybody.
Thank you.
Are you okay? Get some milk in your eyes.
They maced me.
Yeah, milk.
They pushed me out and they maced me.
Then I walked in and there's just a whole bunch of people lighting up in some Oregon room. I don't know if it's just tons of Oregon paintings, but they were smoking a bunch of weed in there. And then we moved it down, showing the statues. Cops are very cool. They're like, hey guys, have a good night. Some of them, it's just crazy. It's really weird. You can see that some of them are on our side.
There's a bunch of really, really pissed off regular folks. I get a job. This is Wednesday. I'm supposed to be at work. Yeah. Shh.
I mean, John, to what extent do you think that quarantine affected this? Like these folks, it used to be you were just like in a metaphorical bubble, and now you're in a literal bubble as well.
I'm gonna guess, Brett, that these people were less than fully diligent when it came to COVID.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why those things should be like a perfect overlapping Venn diagram? Not necessarily, except for the complete lack of masks that I see there. But I'm gonna guess that those people were not taking it super seriously. But anyway, yeah, no, and by the way, you have all sorts of crazies there, a ton of QAnon, very heavy QAnon, but these are not just wacko, poor Republicans. You had CEOs of companies flying in to sack the Capitol. Like these are right wingers of every stripe. And remember, like you can watch videos like that and think, oh, haha, some of them were lighting up. Yeah, and some of them were murdering cops. And some of them were trying to kidnap elected officials. Like God only knows what would have happened if they had gotten to Nancy Pelosi or even Mike Pence, since one of the craziest people, Lynn Wood, has been specifically saying that Pence needs to be executed because he's one of the many people in government who has raped and murdered children on tape. So when they went there with guns and bombs and Molotov cocktails and zip ties and all of that, they thankfully didn't get the Electoral College ballots and they thankfully didn't take or hold any hostages, but clearly that's what some of them were intending to do.
Here's what's frustrating, is usually with a group of protesters, you can say, well, they're right about one thing. One thing, like you can say, well, they're right about, if you hate Black Lives Matter, you can say, well, they're right about one thing, that cops do shoot a lot of black people, right? You can say, oh, I mean, even with like anti, pro-lifers, I'm like, they're right about one thing. That's a very intense decision, and their religion is saying that it's murder. Like at least I understand that there are facts there that are like there was a pregnancy and then there's not a pregnancy. I have a ton of reasons why they're wrong about that, but I get it. Like they're right about one thing: guns are cool. Guns are cool and they're fun. Like I get gun protesters, they're right about one thing. There is a very weird amendment to the Constitution about the right to bear arms, and it's worded very weirdly, but there is something in there. I get it. That's the right about these folks are not right about one thing.
Yeah.
When Tucker Carlson was excusing, he's like, oh, they're so frustrated. And when Tucker Carlson was laying out the general dynamic for essentially saying, I can tell the people who are violent that they're wrong and then try to understand the fundamental premise of a protest. He's right about that, but on the specific merits of the arguments, these QAnon people are spouting utter nonsense. They're wildly unhinged. Every bit of, and even the ones that are pretending to care, that are talking about voter fraud and making sure that our elections are secure. There's no evidence to that. They're not basing any of this in reality. That's what's so frustrating about it. They don't seem to see that. You can discredit this whole movement because not one person from it is making a lick of sense.
Yeah, and importantly, they are not going anywhere. First of all, Trump's not going anywhere, but even if he did, like, it would be great to think, oh, this whole Q thing that I assumed would have fallen apart a couple of years ago will just be gone once it doesn't have Trump. No, there is a benefit to putting together a group of the most gullible people in the entire country. And it is that they are malleable to your will. And so whoever is running that whole thing and whoever's benefiting from it, they're going to do that. They're going to continue to do that. Even if Trump died today, they'll find some other person that's theoretically going to make everything that you want about the world come true and kill everyone that you think is a pedophile. There's going to be somebody that's going to do that.
It's so crazy. Here's something to take away from it. Is these guys decided to storm and infiltrate the White House with a QAnon person. A bunch of QAnon people tried to get inside the White House, but they already had infiltrated the Capitol. They had Trump. Trump was in there. Yes, they're not going away, but they'd already infiltrated like the seats of power by having Trump be a supporter. Luckily, Trump is someone who is only ever using them. And the only thing he gave anyone besides rhetoric, which is all they care about, they just want to feel good. They don't want change. If they had everything solved, they wouldn't be happy. They wouldn't have anything to complain about. But it's just very frustrating.
It is. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.